Hey there, Tyler Lubin here at Visual Intelligence, and today we're going to talk about Tableau Maps. Now, Tableau Maps is one of my favorite visualizations on there. Everybody loves Tableau Maps, so I'm going to go through a comprehensive blog all about Tableau Maps. All right, if you want to follow along, down below, you can download the workbook as well as this data that we're going to be using so that you can follow along in the blog. All right, so this is going to be the data file. We have zip code, city, state, county, country. This data is all US data. And then we're going to have sales and office type. And then we'll also have the salesperson and salesperson zip code. All right, so this is going to be the data we're going to be working with. And we're going to go ahead and connect this into Tableau. All right, so I'm in Tableau. I'm going to go ahead and connect. This is going to be a text file. So I click on text file. And I find my map data. All right, one thing you'll notice is you'll see city is spelled wrong. And since it was spelled wrong, Tableau did not recognize it as a geographical role. So we can go ahead and change this by clicking on the ABC, going to geographic role, and changing this to city. Now, if we spelled city right, let's go ahead and fix this. It would have just came over automatically like all the other ones, but since it wasn't spelled correctly and Tableau didn't recognize it, we just got to go ahead and change it. All right, so let's go ahead and clean that up a little bit. Now let's go ahead and go into our dashboard, and I'm gonna make this extract since it's a decent sized data set. All right, so now we have the data in here. All we have to do to start generating maps is double click on one of these geographical roles here. As you'll see, like we did before, you click on one of these and you can change it. And here are all the different geographical roles Tableau recognizes. And you also create some custom ones using these as well. All right, so these are the ones that are Tableau recognized, as well as the latitude and longitude. And on this one, we have, like I said, city, county, country, and state zip code. So let's go ahead and render our first map. Let's go ahead and double click state. And when we double click state, you'll see we'll have a dot for each state on our visualization. All right. On the bottom right, we have this kind of error message down here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. So there says there's 7 unknown. Let's go ahead and do an edit location. And you'll see that all of these are unknown. Now we'll see right here that New York City, or NYC, is really a city, but we have it down as a state. But we know our data and we know that we meant to do New York. So we can go ahead and type in New York here. And whenever Tableau sees NYC under state, it's all going to automatically going to map it to New York as a state. All right, let's go ahead and hit OK. And now you'll see that the New York dot popped up over here. Okay. Let's go ahead and go back in here and take a look at the filter data. Now, if we do filter data, it's going to exclude all of the special values or values that's not recognized, and it will also update calculations. So go ahead and look at that and see if that's something you need to do when you're running calculations on kind of on state level. Another thing I want to mention while I'm in here, so I'm going to go ahead and clear this, is if we look at something like county, right, we'll see, for instance, here we have 448 unknown. Let's go ahead and do edit location here. And you'll see this says ambiguous. All right. And that is because the county name is reused a lot within the US. So for here, we can fix this on a specific state or from the field state. Or we can go ahead and enter the information here. But normally you're going to have to put state like into details, or you're going to tell it to look at each state as well, because the combination of state and county is probably more unique than just county itself, right? So it's saying that there's more than one, Bexar County in the U.S. You got to kind of help me out. All right, so that's what that is. So whenever you see that, that is more likely what it is. That also goes for like city as well, okay? So that's a kind of a big thing you got to look at. All right, so I'm going to clear this back and go back. I just want to go ahead and discuss that real quick. All right, so we got our data clean. Now let's go ahead and create our first visualization, which is going to be our field map. All right, so I'm going to go type in field map here. And like we did, we double clicked state. It generated this where it has a dot here. Now we can either go to show me and type and click the map here, or we can go to the marks and do the map here. Either one works. All right, so now we're getting the field look that we wanted. Now we have to color these states by something. We can either put state into color, and it will color the state by each individual state. So that's by a dimension, and you'll see we get a distinct color for each state. Or we can put a measure in here, such as cells, and it'll give us a continuous axis right here where we can see the sum of cells, and it gets lighter to darker depending on the cells. All right, let's go ahead and keep it on the cells right now. And I'm going to zoom in. Over here, you see there's this map options where you can zoom in, zoom out. You have some selection tools here, and then you have this zoom area. So I'm going to zoom in this area so I can see just the continental states. All right, so now we got this. Let's go ahead and make this look a little better. So right here, you can go to color, and you can edit your color palettes. You can pick all your different color palettes here. You also can import custom color palettes if you like. You can change your step colors if you only want a certain amount of steps. You can go to advanced, change the start, center, and end. But I'm going to go ahead and just leave it kind of automatic like it is. All right, another thing you can do is you can increase the transparency here. You can add a border. I'm going to do a white border, make it pop a little bit more. And you also do a halo, which I honestly never do. All right. Now let's go ahead and add some text to this visualization. Right now I'm on the zoom pan right now, or the zoom area. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my app options and do the pan. I'm also going to hide this 6 unknowns right here. All right. And I'm going to grab my cells. I'm going to hold control, put that on to labels to duplicate it. And I'm going to get my cells on my actual map. Now you see these are huge numbers, which is not ideal. So let's go ahead and change the formatting of this. We're going to right click the pill that's under labels and go to format. And we're going to change this to currency custom. And we're going to do display units billions. And we're going to do 1 decimal place. All right, so we got that all cleaned up. Let's go ahead and increase our font a little bit. So let's go to our label options, make this a little bigger. Might be a little too big. Let's do 14, 12. Let's do 12 and let's leave it automatic. All right, there we go. That's our basic field map. All right, now let's go ahead and switch over to a tabled symbol map. So let's do a new sheet. All right, and this time instead of double clicking state, let's double click zip code. And we get all the dots like we did before. Now, in this data, we literally have every single zip code in the US. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some filters so we can kind of clean this up a little bit. I'm going to put office type into filters. And I'm going to pick just the VI Consulting office. And we're going to look at just the California state. So I'll put state there and just click on California. All right. So now we can see a little better, right? So now we have our dots here. Let's go ahead and change this automatic to circle, just so it doesn't switch up on us later. And here we can also change the color. So once again, you can put zip code into color, and it'll give you a color for each zip code, all right? A distinct color. Or we can do a measure, such as cells, and put that into color, and it'll give us a color variation depending on our cells, all right? Now with colors, I usually add some transparency here since you can kind of see they're overlapping on each other. And then I'll add a border, all right? I usually do like a darker gray border. All right, so I'll do something like that. You can also as well change the color palette as always. Let's go ahead and change that on this one. I'm gonna make it, I'm just gonna pick a custom color. Let's go with that one. All right, so it's going to be real vibrant. All right, now we can also put something on cells in this one, unlike the field map. So I'm going to grab cells and put that on size. And you see now the size of the dots, or the circles, are dependent on the sum of cells as well as the colors. All right. Now in the map options, you see we have these different options here. Here you can select, in a square, the different points. You can also do a circle. And you can do a lasso like this. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use that zoom pan again, or that zoom area, and I'm gonna zoom into this LA County area right around here. All right, now it would be nice to see kind of the names of the city as well as like roads and highways, and we can do all that under our map layers. So we go to map and map layers, and we have all of these different options here. First, we have light, normal, and dark. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on dark. I'm also gonna go ahead and increase the size of my circles a little bit so we can see those better. And let's go ahead and make a white border around it to make them pop better as well. All right, so we got our circles. I want to add streets and highways so we can see all the streets and highways of LA, and add places names. All right, so now this is the kind of the LA County area right here. I'm gonna zoom in a little more. All right, and you see as we zoom in, you get more details as well. Now down here, you have map layers. You can't import custom map layers, but by default, you get all this census data. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick, let's go ahead and pick population. You can do population by state, county, zip. Since we're looking at zip level, let's go ahead and do zip. And then you can pick a color palette here as well. All right, so you can pick whatever color palette you want. I'm gonna do this one, see how it looks. Take a look at brown. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this one. All right, so you can play with your color palettes here. Next, let's go ahead and add a label on this. So I'm gonna put my cells in my labels, hold control to duplicate it, drop that in labels. And I'm gonna go ahead and format this currency also. So right click, format, and we're gonna do the same thing, currency custom. And this time we're gonna do millions, and we'll do 1 decimal. All right, so here we go. This is the symboled map. All right, so you can, once again, color it by a measure or a dimension. It's usually measure is better, and then size it by a measure like we did here, and kind of play with the options to kind of make it custom in how you want it. All right, let's go ahead and go to the dual axis state and zip code map. So I'm gonna create a new one. And this is dual axis state and zip code. All right, so we created 2 separate maps right there. Now we're gonna create a map that's kind of gonna like overlay on top of another map. All right, so first I'm gonna start off creating that state map that we had. All right, and I am going to then filter this by just a few states. So I'm gonna look at California, Arizona, and also I'm gonna look at Nevada. All right, so I just want to look at those 3 states right now. I want to do a field, so I go ahead and change this to field or to the map. And I also want to filter this by just the VI Consulting office. So I'm going to take VI Consulting. There we go. Now I want to put my cells in my labels so I can see them, and as well as in my colors. And I'm going to go ahead and right click the one that's in the labels, format it, and put that back to billions like we did before. All right, let's go ahead while we're here, increase this font size so we can see it a little better. All right, so we have our first map. All right, now I want to overlay that zip code map that we kind of did earlier, okay? And we're gonna make some variations to it, but I want to put that on top. So this is our top map. Now we can hold control, grab latitude, and drag it right next, and then it's going to duplicate latitude, and you'll now get 2 rows. You'll see that your marks card is now all your top map and your bottom map. So anything you do to your all marks card will affect both of these. Anything you do to the top will affect just your top. Anything your bottom, just your bottom. All right, my top one is already built. That's exactly how I wanted it. So now I'm going to change my bottom. My bottom map, I don't want by state, I want by zip code. So I'm going to grab zip code and replace state by dropping it right on top of it. And you'll see it now defaults to a field because we had it map here. Let's go ahead and change that to a circle. All right, so now we're getting our circles. Now let's go ahead and let's change our sum of cells from color right now to size. All right, so now it just changed my color to gray. Now I'm gonna go to color, and I'm going to add a white border, and I'm just going to decrease the transparency a little bit so you can see it kind of stacking on top of each other. And also I'm going to decrease the overall size of all of them some. All right, now since I have labels on this one on the top, I don't want labels on that one as well because it's going to make it kind of busy. So I'm going to remove the labels by just dragging it off. And then now I'm going to stack these on top of each other, which is called a dual axis in Tableau. So I got my top map built, my bottom map built by using the two different distinct marks cards. And I'm going to click on this right pill here and do dual axis. And now you'll see they'll stack on top of each other. So you can see what the overall cells is for these states for the VI consulting. And then you can see kind of where the concentration is, which makes sense. Kind of you have a lot of LA, San Diego area, and San Francisco area. All right. So that is how you stack two maps on top of each other. Do a dual axis map is kind of the technical term for it. All right, let's go ahead and do another dual axis map, but instead of doing two maps on the top of each other, let's do a map and then a pie chart. All right, you don't have to do two maps. You could do two totally different visualizations. So this is dual axis map with pie chart. All right, so we are going to do kind of the same thing like we did before. All right, we're going to double click state and we're going to create this top one. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in right here, and we're going to change this from automatic to map. Now we're going to do a little different kind of exercise on this one. So here we have all of our states. I'm going to create a map with using custom territories where I can see my east territory and my right territory. All right, so I'm going to go and select this square lasso tool right here, or the square selection tool, and I'm going to grab all of these east or these western states. So all of these are highlighted. I'm going to hover and hit this paperclip, which is going to create a group for me. All right, so I grouped all those. You see it has sales group right here. Now I'm going to do the same thing for these eastern ones. Hover and group these. And you see I have this group, and then I have everything else that I didn't group, right? All right, so now let's remove state. And you'll see I now have this state group that is actually built off of state because I grabbed state. All right, so now I have just two full pieces here. I'm going to put this group into filters, and I'm going to filter out the other, which is like Alaska and Puerto Rico and all the ones kind of on the outside. So I just have a U.S. map right here with the continental states. All right, we can go ahead and change this, rename this to territories now. And we could rename this to East Territory and West Territory if we wanted to. All right, so we got this this new map. Let's go ahead and change the colors. And I'm gonna do this this blue and this light blue like this. We can also, like we did before, add a border. All right, so we got our top map here. So we can see the two different territories. Now let's go ahead and create the dual axis. So we're hold Control, duplicate this over. And we want to mess with this bottom one down here. So we grab this bottom mark card. All right, we want to leave everything on territory, but instead we want to create a pie chart here. All right, so let's go ahead and let's change this to pie. All right, let's put our office type into color. Let's put our cells into the angle. Let's put the territory into details. And let's put the sum of cells into the labels. All right, now it's kind of hard to see, so let's go ahead and increase the size of this pie chart. All right, we got a huge number here, so let's go ahead and format this number to show billions like we've been doing. All right, now we have our pie chart that's going to show each territory. Let's go ahead and change the color of this. Let's make this one let's make that a yellow. We also can change the borders of this. Let's change this to a black. And then let's go up to this top one. So right now we're on this bottom one. The middle one is this top one. And actually, let's color this by cells. So let's change this to detail. And then grab cells and put that onto color. All right, so it looks good so far. Let's go ahead and make the dual axis and see how it looks stacked on top of each other. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit larger. Let's make that font a little larger as well. And let's go ahead and put the office type in labels as well. All right, there we go. Now we got a dual axis map with a custom territory map on the bottom. And then on the top, we have this pie chart, right? And we just did a pie chart here, but you can stack whatever you want on top of it, right? So that you can be pretty creative here. All right, let's go ahead and do another example. All right, let's create a dual axis, and I'm just call this custom map. We're gonna do some cool formatting things on this one. All right, so I'm going to add some filters first. So I'm gonna put office type and filters and do VI consulting. I'm gonna do state and do California. And I'm gonna do county. And I just want the Los Angeles County. There we go. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and double click zip code to start the map. All right, now we have our dots up here. I'm gonna go ahead and increase our size of our dots a little bit. Let's go ahead and go to our map layers and add the streets, highways, and places names. And let's go ahead and make this one a dark map also. All right, now I'm gonna put my cells in my color. See here, it automatically changed it to a field. Let's go ahead and change it back to a circle. And instead of the sum of cells, I want to do a quick table calculation, and I want to rank these. So I want to rank my cells. You see it ranks it from 1 to 21. Let's go ahead and put that onto our labels. And let's go ahead and increase our size a little bit. And let's go to labels and let's put our rank in the middle of the circles. So let's go to alignment and select both of these. And I'm also going to force my color to be white like that. All right, let's go ahead and make the font a little larger too. Let's do 15. 15 looks good. All right, so you kind of play with your sizing a little bit and get it how you want. All right, next thing I want to do is duplicate this latitude, put it right next to it, and I want to go to my bottom mark card. And first, I want to change this to a shape like this. I want to remove the sum of sales rank out of the color and also out of the text, just so I get this white line. And you can go ahead and change, whatever color you want, but I'm gonna leave it the white. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do a dual axis here. And you'll see they have this border kind of around it, which is nothing too special. But if you go to size and increase the size some, you see you can make it kind of like a target, right? And you kind of just play with your size till you get it to how you want it. So you could do something like this, or you can also leave it as a circle, right? But when you put out a circle, you see it's on top of it. And that's because the first one is on the bottom, the second one's on top. But if we go ahead and change the order, it moves it to the bottom, and then it gives you this kind of cool, border effect where you get this thick border in the background. All right, so that is some different ways of how you can kind of play with with your map. All right, let's go ahead and do one more where we're going to be looking at a map and putting custom shapes in them. So you can download some custom shapes by using different websites. I use like Flat Icon. You just download a PNG file and you copy it. Once you download it, you copy it and you paste it into my Tableau repository. I'll show you real quick. It's installed on your computer whenever you download Tableau. You go to Shapes, and then you have all your folders. And then I just created a new folder called Custom Icons, and then put all my custom icons in there. All right, once you do that, you'll then be able to see that icon in Tableau under your shapes. All right, so I already pasted that in here. So that's the one I'm going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and call this Tableau map with shapes. And I'm going to add some filters. So first one is going to be state. I want to look at just Florida on this one. I'm going to look at my office type, VI Consulting. And I'm going to double click zip code to get my state, or to get my map going. I'm going to put cells onto color as well as cells onto size. All right, go ahead and format this as you want. Make the border white. All right, maybe decrease it a little bit. And then now in this folder, in this file, I had another column with a zip code for the salesperson. All right, so now I'm going to map where the salesperson lives, correspondent to where all his cells are. So I'm going to go ahead and do a dual axis here, hold Control, duplicate this over. And I got the top one built already, so now I just need to build the bottom one. So I'm going to go to the bottom one. And I'm going to change zip code, which is the zip code of my sales, to my salesperson zip code. And I do that by just dragging on top. And you'll see now it's just the salesperson zip code right here. All right, now I'm going to change this to a shape. And then I'm going to go to Shapes, More Shapes. Go and find that new icon that you downloaded. I downloaded this one right here. And I'm going to apply it. All right, now I have my shape here. You see I have my size and colors by sum of sales, but that's kind of doesn't make sense. So remove all those. Just want to plot my person right here. All right, so I got him sitting there. I can also put the name under it as a label. Now I can go ahead and make this a dual axis. And now you can see where Tyler is located and where all his cells are. All right, so that's kind of a cool way of adding shapes to maps, and you can do a lot of cool things with adding your logo in all your clients' offices or whatever else. And I mean, there's a lot of creative ways of doing it. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I know this was a really long one, but I hope this was a lot of good content. All right, if you haven't already, you can download the data and the workbook so you can do it yourself. I also have a review of all the top websites I use for icons, so you can download that as well. All right, well, go ahead and subscribe to the channel to get more videos all about Tableau, and I'll see you next time.